the ability to walk away from someone who has constantly given you nothing but disrespect, ungratefulness, and chaos is widely considered the most effective way to reclaim respect, appreciation, and peace. Now, I'm not going to tell you, gentlemen, what this magnificently potent but personally suffocating act says about your character, or endlessly describe how powerful it is, like so many others already have. Instead, I'm going to explain to you, gentlemen, why it is so powerful by discussing the psychological effects it will have on those who are walked away from. Before I start, I'd like to briefly mention that the term walking away doesn't mean that you have to vividly tell the person you're walking away from about it, or extensively explain why you are walking away from them. That will just take away its power, and you'll blow the entire point of it. To properly walk away is to just completely and bluntly disappear from someone's life, no warnings, no explanations, no telltale signs, absolutely none of them. Your completely abrupt, unexpected, and inexplicable departure will cause the most significant emotional turmoil for that person. How? By not giving them any answers to their most predominant questions generated from your disappearance. Human beings are creatures of habits and patterns, and when someone realizes that you're entirely not who you used to be with them, or better yet, completely the extreme opposite by fully going ghost on them, it effectively disrupts their usual expectations of you, or from you. Thus, giving them a great sense of uncertainty because of that sudden unpredictableness and withdrawal. That feeling of uncertainty and absence from you will eventually eat away at them and turn them into full-blown dread, the dread of the possibility of having lost someone or something very valuable and important. As we all know, human beings also like to escalate their emotions and imaginations, for better or for worse. This immense feeling of dread is what will involuntarily and excessively generate millions of unanswered questions and unconfirmed assumptions inside their heads. They will become agitatedly desperate and restless to verify and even rectify, because once again, human beings hate what they don't understand. They have to make sense out of everything perceived to be chaotic and unpredictable to obtain that sense of security, order, and structure, otherwise they'll panic. It's like having a normal or even a great day at work, and without warning, there is a letter of dismissal from the company for you. In that letter, it simply states that you got laid off without any particular reason or reasons why you're fired goodbye. Then you're asked to hastily pack your things and immediately get escorted out of the office building. How would you feel if that were you? Utterly perplexed and bewildered. I bet the one thing that human beings fear more than not being seen or noticed is not being appreciated or feeling utterly unimportant, because it makes them feel isolated, abandoned, and discarded. That is what walking away eventually gives them a taste of their own medicine of what they did to you. Normally, people who feel unappreciated would try even harder to please others to desperately get people to see the good in them and finally realize their value. But we all know by now that usually ends up in them being further unappreciated or, worse, bullied and abused by those people they're trying to please. As all of us are fully aware by now, being too available, too nice, and too accommodating is always a vivid sign of desperation for approval. By walking away, it will massively assist you in turning things around by completely denying them any access or privilege to your usual behaviors and generosity that involuntarily made their lives easier. It will make them wonder why their routines are not so straightforward and effortless as usual without you. It will make them endlessly question their own decisions and actions. It will make them involuntarily and heavily introspect themselves regarding their own characters. And most importantly, if they have any sense of humane ethics, morals, and even remorse, it will make them endlessly wonder how you really feel about them. Eventually, as their emotions escalate, how others would feel about them as they fear further judgments. Whether they'll eventually realize their mistakes or not is none of your concern and should be none of your concern. Your only mission is to not give them any hint of the answers, Or better yet, don't give them any. Even if they seek you and beg you for it, which most of the time will likely eventually happen. This is where it gets tricky for most of us, and where we eventually compromise the integrity of us walking away in the first place. You see, most of us walk away from someone carrying a secret hope that those whom we walked away from will finally realize their mistakes, completely change their way, and then remorsefully come back to us, of which we will wholeheartedly receive them with open arms. This is utterly foolish and takes away everything from what you initially did. The reason why we walk away in the first place is to completely remove this individual entirely from our lives, because we've given them too many chances to redeem themselves. To take away the integrity of your original intentions and actions is to basically allow them to disrespect you all over again, and the cycle repeats itself once again. It's even worse when they don't feel any remorse for what they did. The best way and the only correct way to walk away from anyone is to completely have no expectations of them coming back at all. To burn the bridge off completely, to shut the door to your past life, and to move on with your life with the purpose of creating better memories and connecting with better quality individuals. Do not give in to the temptations of reconciliation that absence and the lack of intimacy and/or camaraderie will make you feel. This is where you'll get seduced to reach out to them and foolishly apologize for disappearing. Walk away for good, take back the self-respect and dignity that they took away from you, and let them wonder endlessly about their own misconducts. That way they'll remember you, regardless of how they will feel about you afterward, negative or positive. People will not forget how you make them feel, especially when the emotions they experience are as intense, potent, and chaotic as being walked away from, which in this day and age is quite rare for someone to even dare to do, because most of them just don't have the courage to do it. You can never negotiate how one should or would feel about something or someone. That is why it is important for you to maintain that integrity of your intentions to walk away. Give them absolutely no room or reason to feel otherwise about you. Maintain the height of the severity of their emotions towards you. Walk away for good and never go back or even anticipate them coming to find you. And even if they beg you, never compromise. Now, I personally don't condone relishing in the misery of others, but at the same time, I also don't condone letting people get away with behaviors for far too long without them facing any consequences. Retribution and justice are both dishes best served cold, and it's best for you to keep them that way. Thank you for watching.